All right. I had so much fun doing it last time. I'm doing it again already. Really feel that this is going to give me a certain level of speaking skill, which I care about, no one else does, and clarity on ideas, which other people do care about, that I haven't had before, that I couldn't get another way, and that all the people that I really think are doing well, all the people who have succeeded, have gotten just by grinding it out. That actually leads us into the first thing we're talking about today. Some of the more cornerstone things that are going to change with AI that affect how we create art and just how we create. I'm noticing that with the engineering background, people like me in STEM, we are really struggling extra with this, where we don't put anything out unless it's perfect. I was in an ethics course, a requirement in order to graduate to actually get an engineering job. And one of the things that we had to go through was an example of a mistake someone made that killed people. And you know what we did next week? An example of a mistake someone that made that killed more people. This gets baked into you really hard that you do not say it is done until you are 100% positive that it is perfect. Now, when you get into art and entrepreneurship, there is no perfect. But it doesn't matter how many times you tell us that. Here, it doesn't believe it. Here, it feels wrong, even if the brain knows it. So there is a lot of extra steps that us STEM people have to do that no one talks about, no one teaches us, because the experts on this topic are experts because they started off in the soft skills, entrepreneur, and art realm. So this is a big part that I'm going to be discussing more of. But that is why this, for me at least, means a whole lot, to have a way that I can get this practice, get this experience out without having to be a burden. Because I know if I asked certain friends, I could probably get them to do more of this. We could run a whole lot out. Ryan's a great guy. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to, on top of the social capital that I would have to burn in order to get somebody to do this with me, to do enough practice to feel sufficient, I also don't think it would be as good, which is strange to say, because I would always be holding back. Like, oh, it's been 10 minutes, that's enough, let's head out. I'd be, more importantly though, is these people that I care about, the people who would do it, they're my A-team. When we get together and make content, it's the best stuff I create. And I don't want to blunt that edge by having them go through all this sand that I have to go through. So I'd rather go through this solo. And AI is giving me the tools to do that. I have multiple times sat down and tried to just talk a whole lot. And you just kind of end up in this, it's almost like a monotone kind of thing. You could add all the vocal variety, the melody, and the pacing's super fast, but what you're talking about will get in a rut of what you're saying, what you're going on about that. Getting out of that is actually its own special skill, which would come in advance. And I don't need that. I don't need that yet. And say it with me again. One skill at a time. You learn so much faster and feel better too. So, enough dilly-dallying around. The thing that I got this out of is I put together this week another step of the AI help. I built a robotic co-host. Exact same content. I'm going to be having these ChatGPT built questions. So there's actual back and forth, and I'm reacting immediately, thinking on the fly. And man, it just counts so much to have some sort of new injected thought or question that's not already in your brain. But it's going to come out in voice, which I think it's a small change that's going to make a big change in the feel. So let's get into it. We're also going to be aiming for a more frugal length. I'm looking for about 30 minutes or so. So now, that is basically what's happened in my world, building these tools. I want to also say one last part. This tip for getting better at using AI for whatever you're doing has been universal for me in the writing script stage, in the writing software stage, and in building this. Pick small pieces, small, finishable, complete things. We're going to talk about things being exponential a lot, and this is one spot where if you give the AI a larger and larger task to do in one chunk, its fuck ups get exponentially bigger. So the amount of time you're going to spend correcting it, the quality of what you have, and then just regretting the whole deal drops off. Every time I have worked with a tool and felt, man, AI sucks, this is a waste of time, I don't even know why people like this. It's because I was giving it something too big at once. Do we need a concrete example? I have tried using the AI script writers. It asks you questions, so it's still got the humanity in it, but I hate everything it makes. Even going back and forth, it never got to what I wanted. But if I can go and say, hey, I've written this outline. Tell me the top 3 things that you think should be changed. Or take this and make it more relevant to an avatar who's like this. You see, it's a really specific scope, and it can do a brilliant job on it. And effectively, this works down to is if you ask it to do 10 small tasks, it will do each of those so quickly and so well that it doesn't need refinement, that you can get it done in maybe an hour. If you ask it to do all steps at once, it will be so junky, it will take you probably 3 days to do it. So keep that in mind. It's the most valuable thing that I've found everywhere. Now, let's get into the questions. We're talking today about how AI is going to change the way we deal with art. There's enough people already talking about, oh my God, career is disappearing. I'm talking about that with software engineers. And, oh, woe is me, we're not going to have artists, and it's so soulless, and I hate it. I really think half the people bitching and moaning about this are actually AI themselves. It's just so generic and repeating. But there's a certain amount of how can we use this better right now? Again, we'll pull this out again. Nothing's forever. The more you can focus on getting the maximum out of the things you have right now, you're going to have such a better life. The temporary things are the things that have the biggest lever. Don't be the person who finishes Final Fantasy without using any potions. So we're going to talk about how we could use the AI to maximize what we can do now. And then we'll talk a little bit about, well, when things do get really far and AI makes it challenging to say, whoa, about doing this for a career, what does that change about the other half of just doing things because we love it? I play violin right now, and I'm not trying to do that for money, but I feel like after all these AI changes happen, I'm going to have a different feeling about playing for fun. So let's get into it. Let's see.
1. If AI can already generate decent scripts, thumbnails, and edits, what unique value will human creators actually compete on in 5 years?
5 years is a long time. I think really any discussion about AI that's beyond 12 months is kind of, you're not paying attention. Like it or not. So within 5 years, yeah, I'm not even going to try to hypothesize this. By then, we have definitely tipped over. And it's going to be the question about what do we do for fun, not about what we do for money. So Sorry if that's not the answer you wanted to have, but that is it. Since we're here, I will say that if you use that practice of picking small blocks to give to the AI, you can speed things up a lot. Oh, solo speed. Yeah, that is actually right. That will remove speed bumps that give you this more emotional flow. You can get into it more deeply, more passionately, and see from the big picture because you don't have this slow grind on doing the details. I've been moving my scripts to a little bit more of, I don't need perfection. I just want to look at what is the overall idea so I can find something that matters more to other people. That's the true joy for me, right? And I'm not doing that by AI yet. I completely will. I'm just doing it by altering how much work I put into polishing everything, getting over the perfectionism. And it's been pretty exciting. So that exact same concept will happen with making thumbnails, making videos. Editing, I think that'll take a little longer, but that's coming too.
See, as audiences get flooded with AI-generated content, what signals will make them trust that a creator is worth paying attention to?
Ah, that's an interesting question. Well, why do you define worth paying attention to? How are we deciding that today? I personally am more of a results person. If it's somebody I'm going to meet in person, then maybe I would care about the behind the scenes. But the reality is most of these people are so distant from you, they might as well not be real. And even more true is that the person you think they are is just not who they are. So I actually think it's going to be a maturity wake-up call for a lot of us that getting attached to the creator themselves was foolish. If you're a creator yourself and you can talk to them and collaborate with them and learn from them, that's a huge deal. That is a big deal. And that's a whole separate topic that we can come to later if someone asks it. But really just focus on the art. I'll say, I like Justin Bieber's music. I don't like the person. I completely divest the art from the artist. And I think that's going to be the only path left.
Three, most creators who rely on information or education content will see their business models collapse because AI can deliver the same knowledge faster and cheaper.
Yeah, there's no way around that. Honestly, I've been gunning for this for a while now. I care about learning. I care about us getting better. It's the most beautiful part of humanity. And I resent how intentionally bad we teach things. Sit everybody in a room for 40 to 100 people and have everybody learn the same lesson at the same time. We haven't had to do this in so long, and it is abhorrently inefficient. It is cruel and is wasteful just for some extract money from you and to use you as a power base. It's disgusting. So I'm glad that is going away. As an educator myself, I'm fucking okay with this. This is a sacrifice I will make because I care about knowledge. I don't care about my status, pride, or whatever credential nonsense we're gonna have. I am happy and looking forward to having my entire life based on what I can do, not on what labels I was having or anything like that. So it's gonna be a lot of people angry and loud about it, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be entirely about what you learn and what you can do. And that's gonna accelerate rapidly. Like I said before, we're gonna become hyper renaissance men where we'll have to learn a large variety of different domains and connect them together that we never had to, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. And this is gonna be a big part of how we create new things. We're gonna focus on the one half of education that's the most important half. What do you do when you have so much skill?
4. What skills or formats could become more valuable precisely because AI struggles with them? For example, lived experience, taste, accountability, community.
I like this. Man, yeah, you've got a good prompt here. I think a lot of these you'll be surprised at how much we're not better at. Lived experience, like it can fake that, okay? Where do you think ChatGPT came from? It is trained on buckets of our experiences, what we've written down. So that's what something it's specialized at learning. There's that old saying that a lot of times the liar sounds more convincing than the person telling the truth. And I think AI will make more deep, more exceptional, more vivid, and more appealing lived experiences than the actual people will. In a way, you could say it's like the AI has lived 100 lives and you're only halfway through one. But maybe that's a red herring, just focusing on that one because it just bugs me a little bit. What places will AI struggle because of what it is? I think of all those, the only part that matters is taste. I hate to say it, but we're coming back to the same thing as with education. It's not about the person doing it anymore. It's going to be about the person receiving it. So you building your taste, you're going to build that faster. More importantly, you're going to build it sharper because you'll be able to get content that's exactly yours. If I watch 20 best films of the 2000s, a lot of it's going to be, oh, I like that part. But there's going to be a huge chunks that I feel kind of bleh, because they have to make these to appeal to billions of people. When we get down into generated content, it'll be able to get a lot more specific to who you are and what you care about. You'll actually start asking yourself questions in art you've never had to before. Do I like this subpart or that subpart? I don't know. It's never been an option. But you'll get that now. And then you start building your taste. I don't know if it'll come down that you'll be able to recommend things to other people and that will be valuable, or if the AI will immediately be better at knowing what your friend likes than you ever do. I think at some point it's going to know what you like even more than yourself. But building your taste, to know what to ask for, that's going to be a big deal. And I think this is going to lead into the second half of how we enjoy our lives outside of work is going to become a bigger deal. Whether we're unemployed hobos or whether we're doing well, work is going to vanish on us one way or another. So building your taste, learning how to enjoy what we do have to the most is going to be a very big deal.
5. How will creators cope psychologically if their hard-earned creative skills become baseline commodities overnight?
Yeah, this is what I want to get into. The second topic is all about this. That's going to be the biggest deal. It's a huge loss. It's not something that someone half-asks. When I was a music student, we had a course talking about the danger of people who would fall so in love with music that they would leave their wife and family, starve to death in the street for it. And it's not a legend. It's not a joke. People really did that. How many of the most famous classical musicians oh my gosh, they died penniless? Like, yeah, they did not fucking care. They wanted to make the art. And now when that doesn't become a part of your life anymore, that's a huge loss. My hope is there will be some way that it can be part of your identity even when it's not for money. This has been a very solid line that we make, that if you're not getting paid for it, you're not really a musician, you're a hobbyist. We're going to be questioning that line real hard real soon. Because if no one's doing it, even the most talented and best people in the world, the people who gave us the foundations that we're in love with now, then maybe that's not the defining criteria anymore. The biggest thing is just how fast this happens. Artists, some ways they're pretty flexible, but we need time to change. But if it's overnight, our identities are not designed to do that. And that's going to be a big struggle. So this is going to be one of the things. You're talking about what new things come up with AI that's going to be an opportunity. Helping people deal with this rapidity of the identity shift. There's going to be a lot of opportunities there. And maybe some special art that applies to people.
1. If making art no longer improves your status or income, what reasons would still make it feel worth doing?
Okay, getting to the section change. So now we're talking about what do you do after? Take it to the extreme, hypothetically, because then we'll be prepared for whatever amount of this actually does happen. If no one ever gets paid for art ever again, what do we do with it? What do we care about it? So if making art no longer gives you status, I keep on forgetting that that's a big deal for people, or income, what reasons would it feel like it's worth making? And I want to hear a lot from other people in this too, but I am wrestling with this on the top of my list right now. Playing the violin, I would say for the first week after I realized all this is happening now, I just didn't want to play it. Yeah. And now I'm back and I love it. And it makes me feel even more happy because I know that that's something that's not going to go away. It can't be taken away. There's something beautiful about just doing it. I'm playing by myself songs that are not impressive to anyone else just to do it. And I think that's going to be the big pivot of our entire lives, to stop doing things for money and stop doing things for status and doing things just to do it. If you're my friend, you know already, because we talk about this all the time, that living your life just for external things to make other people like you or to have money is it's like a good start, but it can get you cut off at the knees. The whole Michael Jordan effect, where you have everything and you're still miserable. So actually learning how to enjoy the things you have, actually enjoy being alive for who you are. These are going to be some big questions that we haven't gotten into before. And I think we're going to have some good answers. I personally have made massive progress on this topic myself in my life. And I've seen others too. So this isn't something that, oh my gosh, is there a solution? Maybe we're not capable of this. Like, yeah, we completely are. This is another baked in part of just who being a human is. And now we're removing all these other things that are distracting from it or pressuring you into not doing it. And that door is going to be the only one left. This actually might work out pretty well.
2. Would people actually create more freely without market pressure? Or would most stop once external validation disappears?
That's going to be polarizing, yeah. The thing I see a lot is the phrase audience capture, where you start making something and you need people to like it so that you can get paid for it. And then you tweak it to do the version of it that they like more and more and more. And then eventually it stops even being the thing that you cared about. It stops being your inspiration. And then it's just a job with more steps. I do know of people that if there was no income, they would never do this again. They probably would not do another art. But there's also people that love doing it and would do it. It's essentially, this is going to be the pressure on everything after AI comes out, that you have to be doing things because you want to. We can't be pursuing it for status or money anymore. So you got to get real freaking clear on what do you care about doing, what experiences you like, and what matters for it just to be done. And some people are ahead of the game on that.
Three, without the possibility of recognition or money, almost everyone will abandon serious artistic effort and default to passive consumption.
I don't know if almost everyone will. We might be surprised by this. The biggest pressure is just survival. So if we don't have income, we don't have food, we don't have comfortable homes, that's going to drop it off a cliff. But if we do, have at least just some minimal form and still are allowed to have time to do stuff. Yeah, a lot of people like creating. And okay, you're talking about making serious artistic effort. People like to create. The recognition would be hard because there is the thing where even if you're getting paid money and you're not getting status, the impact it has on other people is a big deal. That worries me the most, actually. Because if AI can make something better than anything you can do, then it's going to have a bigger impact on anyone. And whatever you create, people are like, yeah, okay, can I get back to what I really wanted to watch or listen to? That's going to be hard. But it's still not the dead end. Like, my violin playing is not great. I still have a great freaking time, man. This is just something we have to look into. Serious artistic endeavor. Man, one of the best parts of going through this content creator journey, I know so many people who love just making things. Anthony Gallo, the contentcreator.com guy. He films and makes little edit cuts of whatever he does. Going on vacation, traveling, it's what he likes to do. And he puts serious time into it. My daily photography and then pair it with some kind of music and text for my Instagram stories. I like doing this. And maybe these are short little slices. I feel pretty confident if I wasn't focused on trying to build a business, trying to survive the AI thing, I would build larger and larger, more elaborate, more serious versions of this. Just for myself. It's probably going to come in from the corners and merge together where what I'm doing purely solo and then using AI tools to make it even better and faster and combine all the ideas instead of being stuck on the implementation. And then what AI can just do without me, I think those two are going to grow together. So unlike the identity loss, which is going to be painful because it's a rapid shift, this is going to be slow grow together, like neurons in your brain forming a new idea. And it's actually might actually feel pretty natural and smooth, enjoyable.
How might identity change for someone who always defined themselves as an artist once AI can outperform them technically?
Well, good question. And we already have a great answer to this. Number one, no one is going to be able to be just one thing. Those days are going away. All of this strength, the power, the influence, and beautiful art is going to come from connecting to many things at once. AI is reducing the friction, the time it takes to do each one of these things. So you don't need to be just a painter. Okay, I'm going to now be the director, the writer, and the actor. You can do all the pieces at once. So always dial back, I'm an artist. I encompass all art. Okay, heavy lift, good for you. Still, you're probably going to be we're going to reach a point where you have to bend the borders on that too. So I'm an artist, and also I'm an entrepreneur, and also a guru, and you're going to start blending those together. The idea of being one thing, the idea of there being barriers between anything that's related to knowledge is going to vanish, and we're going to be part of that.
5. If survival becomes economically harder for many people, will art for joy feel like a luxury or a psychological necessity?
Well, art always feels like a fucking luxury, okay? It is not an easy way to make money. It is not a probable way to make money. And most people who are like the biggest successes had tons of money or some rich family or husband or wife to pay for them so they could dick around until they got through that long valley. So we're back where we started. Next. Sorry, Corey, that was a terrible question. Oh, that was the last one. Well, I wish we had ended on a better one. That was a couple good things to think about. What I want to figure out next is how I can maximize the amount of practice I get out of this. The format I can improve in practice, but there is something that I hear in other people's voice, and I still can't tell whether it's the how they're saying it or what they're saying, and I want to hear that in my own voice. I feel the answer is pretty simple: to just relax, do this. Experience is such a fantastic teacher. I'm glad I'm not neglecting it anymore, because then when I watch someone else's, I'm going to recognize all the things going on, and then next week when I come back, I'll know, hey, okay, let's add this in. Let's do that. This is going to be great. My big takeaway from today is removing the boundaries and everything connecting together is going to be one of the biggest answers to all our questions. So what you're doing right now, if you're starting and just trying to get AI tools under your belt so you can take advantage of all the great things in your art that other people are already using, keep going with that. If you're already at cruising level and you're using a lot and things are going fast, start asking the question, what other parts can I connect to? What are other things that aren't part of my identity that might be accessible, might be easy for me to just pull that into my tool belt, plug that into my system, plug that into my art, plug this into my life. And when you effortlessly push that door open, you're going to combine things together in a way that has never been done by anyone in history. And I want to see it. See you next time.